Hi there guys and welcome. These are your handover videos for your Bailey Phoenix 642. These are essentially a basic walkthrough on how to set up and operate the caravan as if you were coming on or off site. So, starting off at the front, we have your black hitch head here and lever. Now what you have to do is have that lever up to then wind the jockey wheel onto the tow ball. Once it's on, that will snap down, push up this red button and expose a green ring. Then you'll know it's on. You've got your handbrake just here. Now this is a gas strut handbrake, so with these always make sure that you give it an extra little tug backwards, because you'll hear the first initial click and then there's about one or two more after that. You have your jockey wheel just here, and then it is with 13-pin electric, so if you do have 7-pin adaptation, make sure to bring yourself an adapter. Now, everything we're using today is our test equipment. So starting off first, we have our mains lead just plugged in nice and gently into that slot just there. 2 points either side and 2 points at the back. You have inserts for your legs. The caravan itself comes with a leg winder, or you can get yourself a 19mm drill bit and a power drill just to make it that bit quicker. Do not attempt to jack up or level the caravan using your legs. They are simply used for stabilisation. Just level first using jockey wheel, put down all four corner steadies. Coming round to the other side, starting off first, we have an Aquaroll here full of clean drinking water and your water pump. So take out that for a second. At the bottom of your water pump is your strainer. Your strainer is used to draw the water through, so it is crucial that that sits at the bottom of the barrel. If it's not sat at the bottom of the barrel, it can lead to coughs or splutters and just a generally bad stream. Then you have this plastic white cap to go over the top of the Aquaroll to make sure no nastiness gets in, and your water pump just plugs in nice like that, and then you can push the cap down to lock it into place. Next up, you have your flow. Your flow is used to get clean air in and out of your boiler. Don't have to do anything with this except make sure it's nice, clean and tidy. Then there is already a gas bottle in here, but I'm going to use my test one. So this is a propane gas bottle. I'd always recommend propane over butane, just because it's not going to freeze during the winter. And this has a black gas hose dated 2025 connecting onto this regulator. Black gas hoses run for 5 years. Orange ones like this one will run for 10. And then you have your regulator here. Hand tighten the gas hose as much as you can, and then just essentially do a couple of little nip ups using a spanner. Now you don't want to make it so it's ridiculously tight, as that is putting pressure on the washer inside the hose, which could lead to it cracking and ultimately gas leaking out. Once both sides are firmly connected, twist the gas bottle in the positive or open direction. Then your motor mover will go over on collection. Just here you have two inserts, and that's where your wastewater from both your shower and your sink will come from. You'll need some 28.5mm waste pipe that you can then feed into a waste master and empty out at the appropriate point on site. Then lastly, we have your toilet function. So first up, you have this slightly larger locker just here. To remove the cassette toilet, press up on the handle, pull out just like so. Then get to the appropriate point of emptying. You can also twist that up and out to essentially use it almost like a carry-on suitcase, I guess. Then twist this head to the side, open up the cap just like so. You want to tilt it, and at the same time as tilting, continually press in that vent button. What I would recommend to keep your toilet nice and fresh is to open up this compartment like so, feed in some fresh water, a little bit of a shake, and again tilt and vent. Then on this cap here you have measurements in both imperial and metric, and that is for your blue chemical. Your blue chemical goes into this cap, back onto this head, twist it on, head back to the side, and then you want to push it in. So essentially that orange handle sits behind those white teeth, as then it can't be removed without pressing up the handle. Then just above it you have your flush tank. Your flush tank can hold around 12 litres of water, however I wouldn't recommend putting in any more than 10 as you don't want to overfill it. Get yourself something like a watering can to do so, and then you can add a little bit of this stuff, which is pink chemical. Pink chemical works as a bleach without being corrosive and makes it smell a bit nicer, or as it says here, for a pleasant and hygienic flush, or per uno sacro fresco Italian. Now you don't want to travel with either of these two full, so just here you have this little bung, and that is to empty out any water that is inside that system. The caravan itself will be fully drained off before you leave with it. Then underneath your right hand side seat you have first your boiler just here, and the main thing to note is that yellow switch valve. That yellow switch valve is your drain valve. So when it's in the horizontal position, as it is now, that is allowing water to flow through into the boiler and across the caravan. When it's in the vertical position, that will drain off any remaining water that is inside the system. We are going to leave it in the vertical position. Anytime you come off site, make sure it's in the vertical position, and November to March, I'd recommend having that up permanently, as you don't want any water inside the system to freeze and burst your pipes. Then, moving along the van, you have just here your trips and fuses, all your trips in the upright position and all your fuses in the correct position. And then that is where your battery sits inside there. If you ever need to get a new battery, it has to be a low box battery, as it's a low box. Then just here we have your main control panel. So this is for essentially starting everything up. You have the main on and off switch just here. Have internal light is that one. Then you just have to use the respective light switches. Then you have your awning light, so that's on. Go outside, and as you can see, awning light is on. You have this button at the top, which you press in and will tell you the amount of volts coming into the caravan. As I'm plugged into mains, that's telling me the amount coming from that, but when I'm not plugged into mains, that will tell me the amount coming from the leisure battery. Then I have this button here, which I press in. You can see the green light come on, and that is for your water pump. Now essentially the water pump draws through the water into the boiler, and then you can open up your respective taps to make sure that they are all running. So let me just make sure. Yep, you're off and you're off, that's fine. So what we're going to do is, especially if you haven't used the caravan in a fair bit of time, wait about 2 to 3 minutes to ensure that the water's pulled through, and then open up your taps. So whilst we're waiting for that, I will show you your heating system. So this is Truma heating. So for your Truma heating, you have a switch, a dial even, which is also a button, and then a back button. So press in, and first up we have the caravan or motorhome with the thermometer in it, because they use the system for motorhomes as well. Off, or we start at 5 degrees, work all our way up to 30. Using the dial. Then to select, I press in and it will choose that. So I don't want the heating on right now because it's relatively hot. Next up, I've got water temperature. So it's off. Eco, which will get the water temperature to around about 40 degrees. Hot, which will get the water temperature to 60, or boost. Now what boost does, it prioritizes the water heat over the heating of the actual caravan for about 15 minutes. And then we'll drop it back down to eco. So ideal if you want to use a shower or something like that in the morning, it will get the temperature to a little bit higher than the hot setting. Then you have your energy source. So I can either use gas, a mixture of gas and 2 kilowatts, or 1 kilowatt even, either way. Electric with 1 or 2 kilowatts. So I do have the choice of either gas, mains, or a mixture of both. Then I have the fan setting. As I'm currently not set up with the heating, essentially I can have off or vent. Now what vent does, it essentially circulates the air inside the caravan across the caravan. Pushes out just general air. So you'd have open all your windows and just allow the nice spring, summer, autumn, winter breeze to fill your caravan. Don't know why we're getting so enthusiastic, Henry. But let's say I have the heating on, so 5. It will either be eco or high. Now, eco is a nice steady stream, and high is a vigorous pulse, essentially, to heat up the caravan a bit quicker. Then we have a timer. So this allows you to set when you'd like the heating and hot water to start and when you'd like it to finish. So you first input the time you'd like it to start, so 6 o'clock, and then time you'd like it to finish. Then you have the time. So it is unfortunately 20 past 6. Little bit of overtime for this. So you just set the correct time. Then you have settings just here. So you've got offset, temperature, brightness, 12 or 24 hour clock, language, index or reset. I'm not going to go through them. If you would like to know what each part does, please have a look inside your book pack or have a look at other available sources online. Turn this panel off, you press and hold it in 3, 2, 1 and off. Now naturally it will go to that green screen when it hasn't been fiddled with a while, just with the actual like analog sort of sticks essentially to show you that it's still on. Like this, now it's completely off. Turn it back on, you press and hold in the dial. But going back to what I was on about here, I've pressed in water pump. That's taken me a couple of minutes to explain. So I'd open up on both hot and cold. And essentially what you're looking for is this nice steady continuous stream. If there's any cost of sputters, you go outside, you check that the strainer is set at the bottom of the barrel and that the barrel has enough water and that your drain valve is in the correct position. But essentially, as you can see, it's drawing through. It's a nice strong pull on both hot and cold. Let it run for about 30 seconds just so that you can see it's a nice steady stream. And we'll shoot that down. Then you do it on your other taps as well. When the water pump is on, it will show that little light there. But quick summary: main switch, internal light, external light, water pump, battery. Then just here we have your hob, grill and oven. So everything here operates off just gas. So all you have to do, press in, twist to the side, it will draw the gas through and press your igniter, same as any sort of gas cooker at home. Main thing to note with this is that when you first initially do have it plugged in, especially if you switch over a hose or again haven't used it in a little bit of time, it may be a case that the flame will ignite, hold for a couple of seconds and then die out. That's just the gas making its way through the system. So just restart it again and it would all be working fine. So this is what it looks like when they're all lit. As you can see, nice blue clean continuous flames. Turn it off, back to the central, back to the central, back to the central, back to the central. Again for the grill. There you go, all nice and lit. And finally the oven. So let's see if I can do this with one hand. So press that in, twist to the side. There you go, all nice and lit as well. Only other real thing to note, you want to travel with your gas off and you also want to travel with this glass sheet down, but do not put it down until all of these burners are cold to the touch. Then just here you have your fridge operation. So to turn it on, press and hold on this button just here. It will flash up and go to its most recent memory, which in this case was mains on full capacity. To change your source, you press mode, so press it once, it goes to auto. Auto will automatically switch to what the fridge thinks is the best source to use at the time, which in this case is mains. When I press it again, it's going to go over to that battery symbol. That battery is representative of 13-pin electric, so you can chill the fridge whilst you are towing. Stop playing about with your hair, Remy. And when I flick it over, because I'm not plugged in, it's going to do this. Begin to beep and flash up at me. So press it again, goes over to gas. Now for gas itself, I wouldn't recommend putting on gas until you've checked over all your hob, grill and oven to make sure that those are nice and lit. But for gas, you'll gradually begin to hear it tick in. Then once it's finished ticking, that means it is then lit. When the fridge is also on, the lights are on. Then you have the amount of sauce. So 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5. 5 being the most powerful, so it's going to chill it the quickest. It does take around 4 hours for the fridge to fully chill. Or you can just chill it the night before, to be honest. Whatever is up to you. Then to turn it off, press and hold. Bang. Just like that. Again, it will have the LEDs, but it won't disturb you whilst you sleep. And lastly, we have your toilet operation, which is bog simple. Flush the toilet, press this button, and you can hear that motor. That motor is what will push around any water inside the flush tank system. Now, to remove the waste, you press away on this handle, opens up the catch for the cassette. Pull it back towards you, as otherwise you won't be able to empty it. When the cassette is full, red icon come up underneath that, telling you go and empty your bog.